Hi there. Thank you so much for clicking the thumbnail and being interested in my work. In this video, I share with you my techniques and tips on how I achieve dark skin tones. Be sure to watch it right through to the end, because here and there I'll slow things down so you can take a closer look. So let's dive in and take a look. The method I'm using for the outline is the freehand method. Now I've got several videos now in my channel explaining this method in depth, so please take a look at the end of the video. I'll leave you the links in the description below, so be sure to check them out later. Basically what I do is I place a point in the middle of my board and a point on the reference image, and then measure from that outwards. Here's a selection of pencils I'm using for the underdrawing. Now the difference is I tend to use the primary colours, and I've substituted the red for a burnt sienna for the dark skin tones. So basically you're using it the same sort of way as you would do using the primaries, mixing them together, but instead of that warm red or cadmium red, I'm using the burnt sienna. So basically mixing the same as you go. So the red is the burnt sienna, the blue is the ultramarine, and the yellow is the yellow ochre in this instant. For the underdrawing I'm using burnt umber and like ultramarine blue for the shadows. The purpose for the underdrawing is to get the basic shapes together, and that really relaxes you, so when you actually start putting the rich colours on, which is the next stage, everything is put into place so you haven't got to worry about that, and you can relax and enjoy placing all those rich colours in. So basically this is just getting the basic form, moving things around what needs to be moved, and just basically getting that right feel to it. And again, emotional content in there as well, by opening up your heart, relaxing the mind, and just flowing with it. This is the time where you can really let go and just be loose and just get that really feeling of that person at this stage. Now I've chosen several colours out of my set of Caran d'Ache pencils. All these pencil numbers will be listed in the description below, so you can check them out later. Now I'll place these rich colours down first, and then go over those then with the primary colours, which I've used when I did the blocking stage. So I've substituted the red for the burnt sienna. So what I'll do is get the subtleties over these rich colours, but you'll see me do this as we go along. Now it's just a matter of being sort of experimentative with this and trying different rich colours underneath until you get it right. But you only need to get something reasonably close, because you can go over with these primary colours over the top, and then that gets the subtleties, and it can change that colour you've put underneath to the colour you prefer. I mean, you could do this straight away with primary colours, but it just takes longer to do it that way, and you can't always get that sort of texture you want. So sometimes you need to put like these close colours that looks close to the colour underneath, and then change it slightly over the top. I mean, it's going to be impossible to find a colour that is exact, because the skin tones vary so much with reflective light and subtleties. So, you know, just keep playing about with it. You know, you've got your brown as well there, so instead of mixing brown with the primary colours, you can just use the umber, the burnt umber, but you've still got that chance to subtle it up by putting a bit of blue or yellow in there and the red. These two colours for the lips are really vibrant, really good to use. When you start the second coat as well, is to actually choose an area that you feel that needs to be done first. Everybody's different. I mean, I really was sort of drawn to the way his expression and his lip is, and the nose, and also the contrast and the values around that area. So I thought if I get that in first and get the values sort of roughly correct, then it gives me some idea then when I move on to other areas, and it gives me something to compare with. So it's a good idea to choose an area. Sometimes it might be an eye, it could even be an ear, you know, it depends on what you're drawn to. Just start that first, but just work on the values, getting that right. The value system I use is 9 values, which is 4 lights, 4 darks and 1 mid-tone. Now I have got in my channel a video explaining in depth how to see values, so please check that out in my channel at the end. I'll leave you a link in the description below, so it'll make it easy for you to find it. If you're enjoying the video, why not subscribe? It's absolutely free, and then you're sure not to miss any of my future videos. Now I was surprised how small actually Anthony Joshua's ears are. Interesting to draw. Now on his skin there's a lot of beads of sweat. Draw what's underneath them first, obviously, and then lay them on the top. All you do is just dot your white, use a Carandy Ash white pencil because it grabs the pastel mat and it don't move. So when you start to glaze with the chalkier pencils like the Carbotella or Conti Paris pencils over the top, the white doesn't move its position. So using the Carandy Ash as the white for underneath, then you glaze the colours on the top and the colours shine, and the white then shines through the colour and it gives it that glisten effect. If you're getting value from this video, why not give it a like and share it with your friends? I'd really appreciate that, as it will help the channel to grow. If you need a really highlighted point as well, what I tend to do with the Carandy Ash pencil is make a point and just turn and twist it onto the board, and it creates a really nice intense dot, and then you can glaze over the top of that then, and the dot is kept visible. And then you just carry on doing the same as I've just explained there, with the rest of the droplets. Now for the hair, I'm just laying in the actual deep shadows in there using black and brown, and then finding the direction of each hair by using the white and then glazing over the white with the primary colours, but again I'm replacing the red with the burnt sienna. Now I've mentioned this in a lot of my videos, that the procedure I take is actually to let go of the mind and open the heart and just connect to the energy and the soul, if you like, of the person. and try and allow that just to flow through you. So what you tended to do is switch off thinking, but more into feeling and sensing. And it's surprising how much sensitivity then starts to shine back at you. And then this just happens to just flow through you. So there's no thought involved, it's just relaxing and allowing these sensations that you feel just to flow through, and it expresses itself through your hand. I can't explain to it, it's very strange, but it's just, all you're doing is observing it happening. It just flows from you. Now with this reference image, the eyes, there's no detail around the eyes at all. It seems to have just lost in shadow. So the best thing to do again is just to let it happen, but keep it loose and don't tighten up and don't get stressed out because you can't see the details. Interesting thing with the human eye is that it fills in the gaps. So something that's loose, when you step back from it, the eye sort of fills it in, so you can sense there's detail there, but there isn't detail there. Now it can get quite overwhelming when you see all the subtleties with the actual sweat on the skin, and you think, wow, how am I going to draw that? Again, is not to think about it and just to carry on with the same sort of principle, where you're just using the white first to get the shapes of these little marks and that, and then just keep glazing over the top. So you just keep going from one to the other. So just relax and just keep using that same sort of principle. It gets there in the end. It does need quite a bit of patience because it takes a while for it to build up, but just using the white and then glazing over the top with the primaries seems to do the trick. Now for the very subtleties of the final details of this area, I'm looking in a mirror, so I look at the reflection of the mirror of the image and the reference image, and I'm checking to see the values are correct, squinting the eyes to see the values, and then what you do then, you can open your eyes to see the colours. So you're flipping from one to the other, you squint the eyes to see the values, open them to see the colour, and then you just keep glazing, putting them subtleties on there, because you don't want things too white on these sweat marks, because it'll throw the eye off the energy around the eyes, because I want people to see his eyes and his soul. What I'm trying to connect to is the warrior in him. There's a sense of power and strength, and that's what I'm connecting to and trying to portray through just letting go and letting it happen. But at the same time, I'm aware that the details and sharpness needs to be on the area that I feel that warrior is shining through. So there's a sense of a part of his portrait that exudes this feeling, and that's what you've got to try and find by just allowing yourself to feel and sense what comes back. Hope you've enjoyed part 1. Part 2 will be obviously continuing with his face and hair, and looking at the body as well, how to draw the body flesh tones, and adding the background there, which is the Union Jack, which I've actually photoshopped behind him. So why not hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on when it's uploaded. Here's the full-on view of the portrait as I saw it, so it's a correct angle.
Thank you for watching the video right through to the end. If you found value in it and you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Appreciate it, would help the channel. Leave a comment and a message in the comments below. Let me know what sort of videos you want me to produce. I've actually left a couple of links here for you to click on, and to subscribe, click on the circle here. It's absolutely free, and then you're sure not to miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much, take care and be well.